Nick has passed up Ama in the final turns. Ama trying to take it back. He can't do it. And he's on the inside. Oh! He really wants it. Nudging and nudging and nudging. And Frost takes one too. And Frost wants another. Kiki trying to find his first in the RVEC. He's on the inside. He can't find it. Oh, Eritsu going on the outside. It is easy to wreck when you go for that. It's a time for racing. G-Force tries to find it. Ooh,
the wall ride. What will they do? Nick, far on the inside.
And once again, Singh managed to put on a challenge, and Fam wins the championship.
What is up, everyone? It's that time of the week again. It's time for RVEC Season 5. It's week 3. I'm joined here. One second. I forgot to unmute on Discord. And welcome in here. We're here today with Pokers, the one and only. How you doing, Pokers?
Hello, everyone. Welcome in RVEC week 3.
Yes, good to see all of y'all. So we do have a moment here. I thought before we went into our track overview, we could look at the current standings. This is early weeks here. Remember, only the top 7 races will be kept. The other 3 you can throw away. So still got plenty of room here. But let's check out last race. A very memorable race, was it not, Pokers?
Yeah, first win of Kilabarus. Congrats again, my boy. Just snatched his first win in the entire FAC seasons from 1 to 5.
Yeah, indeed. And I do stand corrected. Last week I said that he was the 5th. He's actually, or the 4th. He's actually the 5th.
Yes.
Laggy Rock had 2 wins in RVEC Season 1. So still can count on one hand the amount of people who have found a first place on any race in RVEC. Kilabar is finding his Season 5 Week 2 on Port Lamano 2. And also, I heard something Famous was talking about, like, based on the times that people got this week on Port Lamano 2, if you compare that to RVEC, I think Season 4, there were like 4 to 6 people who beat Famous's first place time in that previous RVEC.
Yeah, yes. The average time of Famous was a bit worse than the last time the drive, and like 6 people just improved that time by like 0.4, 0.5, if I remember correctly.
Indeed.
So yeah, it's a huge gap. Huge gap that the races this season are going crazy.
Yeah, we could have a changing of the guard here. We'll have to wait and
Yeah.
see. Of course, driver of the day given to the one and only Kilabaris. Congratulations, of course, of course. As for our overall standings here, we do have Stingox currently in first, Kiki in second, Famous in third, Kilabaris in fourth, actually. Nick in fifth with a very consistent showing so far. A G-Force, Frostbitten, Powerade, Makakowski, and Lampert in 10th. So that'll round off our top 10. Now, I do want to have plenty of time to show the track preview, so we'll hop straight into it. Again, this track preview provided by Pokers. Thank you very much. And I thought we would talk about it a little bit while it plays. Normally we just let it play, but there are some highlights on each and every track, some things to pay attention to. And for me, Game Room 2 is all about this sequence that's on your screen right now, headed around in those intense U-turns. You got the stools every which way. You go for the wall bang into the vent. It's just major hazards left and right.
Yeah. Also about that ramp we saw earlier, there might be some action going on here, because I do have made some training here on the track, and I noticed that the wallback and the dive bomb would be on the body, both on the last turn, but also on the ramp.
Right, indeed. Dive bombing does happen from time to time, but
Yeah.
Just very minor changes throughout that sequence can have a drastic effect. Now, another portion is what's coming up on the screen shortly. That jump through the rails actually catches people off from time to time. You do kind of have to be prepared, lined up ahead of time.
Yeah, if you're not precise enough, you go on the rail and crash yourself. So you have to be able to watch out about that, especially on the last laps when the exhaustion came in place.
Indeed. So we have our lobby filling up, but we are gonna have a little bit of a delay. I think we've only got 9 people in here, I think due to the IO session, so we might have to just wait a little bit longer. But how are we feeling about Game Room 2? If I remember correctly, this was one of the maps that Stingox was looking very poised to take. I'm not sure if I remember that correctly. If any historians in the chat want to call me out, let me know. Actually, it might have been Kiki. I remember Game Room 2 was a very explosive track in the last RVEC. And we'll see if that happens here today. It's very flat for the most part. But should be a very bumpy experience nonetheless for these drivers. Certainly not going to be a smooth cruise to the finish line.
If Erzu was on the party today, he might have chosen the Cougar of the Toyota.
Yeah,
Because there's two sharp turns, so maybe it's not worse, but they are most for the most part flat, very top speed moments.
Right. By the way, we solved the mystery on why the track previews are slow. It is because I am playing the video at 80% speed, so mystery solved. I think it's nice to show a little bit slower so you can really get in detail, because these players are really at the apex of competitive Revolt, and every single little pixel matters as far as getting those really fast times, setting a really fast pace and sticking to it.
Plus, the track is beautiful.
Yeah,
So enjoy.
exactly. Yes, one of the more aesthetic tracks available. So We are
Nothing
gonna
more
have.
to add, I think, except for the wallbang at the very end. Except from that, it's gonna be a pretty chill track. Not at the beginning because 16 players, maybe 14 or 15, but more players also more crash
Yes,
at the
yes,
very beginning.
indeed. Okay, and so I am going to be flipping over to our main screen. It does look like our live standings will be good to go. As far as the players in our lobby, we got Nick, lobby host. Thank you for hosting. We got Ashen, Famous, Powerade, V, Lampert, One, Stingox, Kilabaris, Kiki, Laggy Rock, Ama, G-Force, and Makakowski. So we do have a couple people missing. Ertzu, of course.
Frost.
Frost is
He's not
actually in the chat. He just said, "Let's
Yeah.
go, boys." So interesting. So for qualifiers, it's going to be 10 laps. The time limit is 7 minutes. For those of you who are not aware, the way that the qualifiers work is you try to get the best lap time in the race for those 10 laps. Your final position doesn't matter. It just matters best lap time. Whoever gets the best of the best lap times will be starting in the pole position for our official race, and we'll be starting off when I say go. So it is a little bit of advantage to have that first place compared to any other place, but also obviously it's a big advantage to get towards the front. Less people to have to pass. It's lots of narrow corridors here. A couple wide open spots for sure for easy passing, but it can be quite a nuisance sometime as well. You got people bumping into the stools, causing havoc, etc. Okay.
So, what's your prediction today, Onk?
My prediction is Stingox winning the best lap. I don't know if I have a prediction past that, but as far as best laps, Stingox has been on fire with the best laps, and I would like to see him manage to do it again today. Also, I'm gonna throw we had Keel Bars winning the last race. You know what? One of our driest racers so far is G-Force. He's raced so many RVEC races. He's been a long time without a win. And I think one of our dark horses is going to win. I'm going to put my money on G-Force. I didn't mention it, but hopefully the stuttering is gone. It certainly looks like it on my screen. I mean, honestly, a round of applause for that. I've been dealing with that issue for what? A long ass time, but it's looking pristine, at least on my side. Let me know what y'all think. Can continue to try to edit around on that. But let's go ahead and pull up those live standings. One, to make sure they're working, and two, to kind of look at the best laps down there at the bottom and start to get an idea of where our racers are at. So, it is in fact Sting with the best lap of our race so far. With a 36.291. Just a couple milliseconds behind that is Makakowski with 4946. Just barely over 37 is Ama, third place, and Kilabaris just set a new best lap, which put him momentarily in fourth place, but he gets knocked down to fifth by G-Force, who locks in a 37.011. So we only have two racers here. With a sub 37 so far, Kilabaris not going to be able to lock in that best lap as he bumps into the side, taking it a little bit too close for comfort. But they do have a couple additional laps this race. They've got 10 laps to make it happen. We'll see if those extra chances maybe catapult someone else into the best lap.
Yeah, 10 laps on 7 minutes of time limits. We're aiming for sub 37, maybe 36.8.7 if you like, if you can. Actually, the world record is held by Kilabarus.
Okay.
He's done that 2 days ago. He got 36.58, I guess.
Kilo Boris does record again. It's going to be another throwaway lap, but I think that's an excellent point because it really shows not just the level of competition here at the RVEC, but also the amount of practice being put in. Last week, Stingox getting a best lap on a world record best lap on Port Lamano 2, if I remember that correctly, on like the day of the race. Kilo Bar saying the world record best lap in Game Room 2 here this week. So
yeah, the setup changes are paying off.
indeed. So we do have a couple more people getting a sub 37. Makakowski has locked in a new best lap of 36.496. And we've also got Powerade with a 36.989.
Still Stingox of the best lap for now with 36.84.
Actually, if you'll check Kilo Boris's best lap, you'll see that it is a 36.8. He just said it, and that is going to be the new best lap of our race. I've got that nifty instant upload here, or the overlay on the left-hand side, so I get to see it all in real time. Sting takes it back with a 36.731. Okay, so we got a bit of a war on our hands. Stingox versus Kilo Boris. Alma is trying to nudge his way in too, but he's got 36.918, a bit of a ways back behind those new best laps.
By the way, shout out to Ama. He's not playing a while and just come and do crazy time already.
Yeah, Alma is just one of those guys who just finds those best laps. He's really, really good at setting best laps, and he came to play here. Fam will move into third place for best laps with 36.889, barely edging out Alma.
I know that Hama is a speedrun.
Right?
Speedrun.
Yeah,
So
true.
maybe that helps. Yeah.
I bet it does. Welcome in Top Key the Wolf. Yes, this is just the qualifier. This is to determine who will be in the pole position for our official race. Sting holding on to best lap. Kilobaris is just now starting a new lap, so we'll go ahead and watch lap 9 on Kilobaris, see if he's able to find a little bit of advantage here or there to beat out Sting. Bar is going to finish up his lap here. And not going to be able to beat his best. Lap 10 out of 10. Who should we watch here? Kilobaris? Kilobaris is the one contesting the most for the best lap. He's had a pristine lap so far here for lap 10 out of 10. He's got some lap traffic up ahead. Nick repoing Kiki one wreck away from impacting Kilobaris, but looks like he might be able to have a clean finish to his lap at least. He doesn't find it. Okay, our players are all finishing up here. And it looks like it is going to be Sting, unless Alma can lock in something crazy here. 35, 36, 37, 36.918 continues to be his best lap. Makakowski. Not quite for Makakowski. And we got Stingox finishing up as well. I'm not going to find anything either. Lampert, last chance. Okay, so number 1 best lap going to be Stingox. He's going to have the pleasure of having the pole position for this race. Kilobaris will be second place with 36.8. Fam with a 36.876. Ama 36.918, Makakowski 36.946, Nick just barely short of Makakowski with a 36.597. That will be our top 6. Now, that being said, I usually get sent a nice little graphic to show the entire qualifiers, so hang tight. And if I didn't cover one of your racers, we'll be able to cover that momentarily. But for the moment, I do think it is predictions time. I'll try to get those locked in for us. Okay, give me just a second here. I know it's not going to be the prettiest screen that you have to look at while I get our predictions locked in, but it'll be worth it. So Frostbitten was not here for this race, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give you all 2 minutes to get your predictions in. Who is going to win Game Room 2? It's only going to be 2 minutes, so get them in quick. In the meantime, I will work on getting our qualifications showing. And yes, this would be a good time to test the picture-in-picture as well. I like where your head's at. All right, looking good to me. All right, while we have a break in the action, I'll go ahead and show some of our standings for y'all. Previous driver of the day, Portland Mono 2, was Kilabaris with the dub. Y'all can look at these total standings when you get a chance. Unfortunately, Laggy Rock was not able to make it to Portland Mono 2 despite his best efforts. I think his electricity was out. But he is here to fight. Also, he tunes into the VODs no matter what. Huge shout out to Laggy Rock. I'm sorry that we're still having issues getting the quality sliders. So kind of have to watch the VODs in 1080p. Which isn't ideal, but he still tunes in. He still checks them out. Huge shout out to Laggy Rock. Okay, and with that, Game Room 2 qualifier information is available. Stingox, Kilabaris, famous Ama Makakowski, Nick, as we outlined originally, but Kiki in 7th. Just barely. We had a ton of 36.9s pokers.
Yes, the gap between them are very, very close.
Yeah, so we'll see what the actual paces of these drivers are like once we head into the actual race, because again, endurance, it's got to be said, endurance is not just about best laps. Yes, you can get a point from best lap, but so much more of it is your endurance and tenacity, and not just able to get a best lap, but able to get a really good lap very consistently is the name of the game. So Kiki going to be in 7th, Powerade 8th, G-Force 9th, Onay 10th, Laggy Rock 11th, V in 12th, Ashen Forest in 13th, and Lampert in 14th to start us off. I'll also add we're right there in the in the kind of a sweet spot, you know, 14 to 16 racers. We got a big field. It's going to be great to spectate. And we'll be able to get the picture-in-picture for y'all as well, so you can catch all the action at the same damn time. So 72 laps of Game Room 2 is what we're looking at. It's going to be a grueling match between these racers, but racers at the RVEC know what they're getting themselves into. It's a grueling match that they very happily signed up for. A nice mix between pleasure and pain, as always, in the RVEC. Week 3 coming at you. We've got, I'm assuming it's 10, I mean, I sound so stupid to be saying this, but I'm assuming it's 10 weeks, and we'll take the 7 weeks, top 7 weeks to factor
And
in.
you're perfectly right. Yes, you will
Excellent.
take the
I mean, yeah.
7 best weeks.
I don't know
out of the
why
10s.
we do it the same every single RVC, and I'm still like, I don't know.
Maybe they will change. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the four last RVC. You take the 7 best weeks out of the 10 to have your final pool.
So Lampert actually got a better best lap time than Laggy Rock V and Ashen Forest, but he was over the time limit, I think.
Yes, he was off of the time limit by 5 seconds only. And
Okay.
the rules are rules.
Rules are rules. So that is the explanation there. Welcome in Shigeki X. Welcome in RVEC fans worldwide. So glad to have y'all here for week 3. Game Room 2. Actually going to be coming at y'all shortly. I'm going to take this chance to make sure everything's set up properly on my end. Should be any moment now before our match is headed out.
And before the race, don't forget, stay hydrated.
That's right. That's right. Do some finger exercises for yourself. If you're a racer who's tuned into this stream right now, get some finger exercises going. You're gonna need it. You're gonna thank yourself later. I suppose we can take this chance to also look at our upcoming tracks in the RVEC. Graphic provided by Kiki. Thank you so much. Museum 2 was our first week, followed up by a Wacky Wild Port Lamano 2. We'll see how Game Room 2 plays out. It's going to be followed up by a nice, relaxing Spa Vault 2. Everyone knows how nice and relaxing the spa is.
Yeah, relaxing Spa Vault, of course.
Just a nice, chill day at the spa for these racers. They earned it after 3 tough weeks of competition. We're going to be headed to Venice after that. Gotta avoid the canals. Downtown 1, following it up. Spa Vault 1, because you just can't have enough Spa Vault. Honestly, you can't have enough. So we're going to bring it back to Spa Vault. Get you nice, rested, rejuvenated. Send you to the hospital. then Santorini, and finishes off with the Chapel. White Rose, that is. Classic.
I'm hyped by Downtown 1. Because the track released not a while ago.
Yes.
And it's a top speed track.
Yes. Also, it's just like
so maybe a newcomer may appear.
Yay! Okay, I like that. I like that idea. I like where your head's at. But also, it's just a beautiful track. It's so fun to race on. So. Kippy says finger exercises. For example, hit the sub button. Shout out to Kiki. I didn't get to say it because it was during the starting soon screen, but Kippy has been subbed to the stream for 13 months. We just had our anniversary a little while ago. Okay, we are loading in here. Now, don't get too excited. The racers will not be going anywhere too fast. Hold on. Let me get everything sorted. My bad, y'all. Do not worry. Everything is going to be going perfectly by the time the race starts. I'm to give the go around the 30-second mark. So I'm going to go for a nice 32. Or am I? You know what I mean? Keep them guessing. Lamper is continuing. Okay. I'm not doing it yet. I don't want this to be scuffed, honestly, and right now it's looking like it's going to be scuffed.
Yeah, but back lane have no visibility at all.
Alright, we are going for a regrid. I like it. Everybody relax. We are not going to scuff this start and have a whirlwind of issues and dissatisfaction. We are just going to chill out and do the regrid. I like it. Hopefully everyone will remember their spots. V does need a skin. I hope I got everyone's skins downloaded. If you don't have a skin, be sure to send it in to me. All right, coming out. 3, 2, 1. Stingok's going to be starting us off. Be watching from his perspective for a bit, as he is going to be the pole here in our race. Stingox versus Kilobars. They had an intense best lap showdown during the qualifier, so we'll see if that comes into play here. Certainly, if there's anyone in the race that's going to be tough to catch, it's going to be Sting. In the meantime, already some gaps beginning to show on our live standings. You can also get a better view of the midfield on that picture-in-picture. Ama battling with Famous. Kilobar is right on the tail of Sting. Sting's just going to be blocking that out, but he goes on the inside. Kilobaris, oh my god. Lap 2, and Kilobaris is making big money moves. Okay. And he holds on to it. I mean, the lead is only 1 meter, but it is what it is. And again, actually, I think I'll hold off because we got a tricky part of the track here, and we've got 2 first-place drivers neck and neck. Okay, Kilobar is going to be benefiting greatly off that door bounce, much better than Sting was. Ama is a pretty safe distance away from him, but Kilobaris is starting to make a breakaway if he can keep this pace up. So guys, it honestly looks like I fixed the frame rate issue, the micro stuttering issue. Let me know in chat if I need to improve, if anything's not looking good, but honestly, I think it is looking exactly how I want it to look. So quick 3 cheers for that. Definitely able to focus more on the match, that is. Speaking of matches, Stingox is going to need to light one and start a fire sometime soon. Otherwise, Kilobaris is going to run away with this. He's continuing to mount his advantage on pace alone. 16 meters is the gap at this point. A wreck out of Kila early on, unexpected for sure. Ama is trying to get in the mix here as well. The top 3, Famous, you can't count out. We didn't talk about Famous like at all. Famous was just like completely left to the sidelines, but it would honestly be doing a misjustice to not mention Famous. He is such a dangerous person to be around, at least in game. Kilobaris spinning out as Stingox and Kilobaris have that head-to-head. Ama, Famous on the inside, he's gonna take it. Oh, and Ama's gonna wreck out. Oh, everything that Ama worked for vanishing in a cloud of dust in front of his eyes. Kiki is gonna pass him up as well. Makakowski in the mix too. All right, gotcha, Top Key. The experimentation will continue then. But in the meantime, Stingox is going to be leading 13-15 meters out in the lead. Pretty familiar to the lead that Kilobaris once had. We were hyping the hell out of Kilobaris, but he's going to have to earn it. He's going to have to prove that Port Lamau 2 was not a fluke. We've actually got Famous not going for the wall bank. He's perfectly content to take it on the inside. Okay, noted. Moving swiftly along, we got Stingox, Fame, Kilobaris still in the top 3. As far as the picture-in-picture, we got Kiki, and I believe that's Ama battling it out for 4th, 5th. For real, Kippy. Famous will touch on the inside. Kilobaris out of nowhere is going to find the overtake. Kiki will lock in the best lap of our race so far as he finishes up that lap 8. Stingox continuing to well, he's trying to. He just set a new best lap for himself on the previous lap, but still, he's so damn close to Kilobaris and Famous both. Okay, so this has started to even out a little bit. I'm going to wait for the most intense part of our track, and then I'll look a little bit further backfield. All racers unscathed, at least in the top 3. Ama in 4th, Kiki 5th. G-Force, who is the person I put my fake points on, is currently in 6th. Definitely still has potential here. Makakowski and Power in a head-to-head, as well as Lampert in the mix. The trusty Laggy Rock, old consistent, occupying 10th right now versus Nick in 11th. Stingox has set a new best lap for himself on the previous lap in the meantime, so I'm going to have to flip back forward. Kilabaris and Stingox duking it out. So, look, on lap 11 they both set new best laps. Kila, the first in our race to get a sub 37. Famous sticking behind. Really, the show is right here, centered on Sting and Kilabaris. But with them duking it out the way they are, it could be so easy for Fam to swoop in and snag up 2 positions at the same time. 2 of our top racers, Kila and Sting. Kila going for the cheeky inside once again.
The track looks wide when you look at it, but the perfect line is very, very the opposite.
Yeah, narrow. Exactly.
Narrow, thank you.
Yeah. You're exactly right. I mean, yeah, you have some wide driving range, but it's not like you're really going to try to use that. So, oh my goodness, Kilabaris getting up close and personal as they wrap their way around the arcade machines. Into the vents they go. Kilabaris was kind of scaring me for a second there. I thought he might try to go for a crazy overtake or something. Stingox 1 meter away. Ama moving back into 4th place. He has clawed his way back up. Kiki having a bit of a quiet race so far in 5th. G-Force setting a new best lap while he's in 6th. A personal best lap, that is.
And I do see TT cheering for the South American boys.
Yes, indeed.
G Coin V.
Yes, well said. Gotta have support for Latin America. Hey, or South America as well, of course. Not to group them into one. But regardless, Sting and Kilabaris. I mean, you can't look away. Kilabaris, especially in the U-turn sections, gets so close. He wants to go for that inside. Stingox not having any of it. And you enjoy that Bertha butt in the chat. You earned it. Sting, Kilabaris, famous. Top 3. We can see, like I said, the gaps continuing to increase. 40 meters between Famous and Kiki. Oh, Kilabaris continuing to try to nudge his way in. It seems like he closes the gap so eloquently on Stingox during the U-turns, and then it just isn't able to finish the deal. Ends up winding back out. Kiki has passed up Ama, 4th, 5th. Stingox sets a new best lap for himself. G-Force and Power 8 fighting out for 6th as well. Makakowski, another South American driver, or another regular in the RVA community, Revolt Americas, occupying that 8th place position. Nick and Knight, Lampert 10th. Maggie Rock not able to find too much of a footing yet, but he's going to be capitalizing on the mistakes of others as this race continues on. Such a consistent driver. Stingox and Kilabaris is going to be inching closer to that lap 20 mark, but 20 laps will put them, less than 1/3 of the way, almost as little as 1/4 of the way through this race. We got a whole lot of race left to go. In the meantime, Famous has wrecked. I'm not sure if it's minor or major, but we now have a
Kinda major.
Yeah.
He flipped away
yeah. So
to the inside on the jump.
okay, so he's gonna lose all of that. Oh, kind of a wall of defenses that he had against Kiki is now wide open for the taking. And also, oh, Kiki on the stool. Gotta be careful of those stools. Oh my god. In response, he says, I'm gonna dive bomb the heck out of Ama here. He goes for it. Ama does still have the pass. Ama honking away at Kiki in the meantime. But we can't look away for too long at that first and second battle. Kilobaris and Sting, Famous 45, 50 meters in the back. Okay, picture in picture, we got the battle between Kiki and Ama. Oh my goodness, Ama. He goes for the head-to-head in the vent, and he comes up big, passing him up. Gets a nice big gap on him as well. I mean, relatively big gap. Not typically what you would call a big gap, but he benefits greatly from that. Let's just say that much. So, Stingox is one of those people who we've been talking about quite a lot. Definitely one of the favorites here at RVEC. The man is such a consistent podium finisher, but just hasn't been able to really find those dubs when it matters the most. He was so damn close on week 1 at the museum. He actually had it in his pocket just about, but it somehow slipped out of his control. Final lap goes to Famous, and he wins Museum. But Stingox, certainly a favorite. Up against Kilobaris, kind of one of the more dark horse figures that we've been talking about. Locked in a win at Port Lamano 2, running on a ton of momentum here. He did have the lead here in Game Room 2 on the early laps with a kind of a inside line on the ramp. He eventually lost that position ever since he's been trying to take it back. But we have a new best lap holder in Nick. Nick out in 8th place, actually. But he is, if with a pace like that, he'll certainly be moving up the ranks if he can hold on to that consistency. Kilobaris no longer able to really pressure Sting at the area with the stools and the U-turns. Just going to have to look at him from afar. 10 meters back. Famous has been clawing his way back up. 40 meters back still. Just a couple meters being added. Ama says, F you, did I miss something in the picture-in-picture brokers?
Yeah. Kiki just dive bombing the hell out of him.
Oh, man. I mean, hey, Ama and Kiki have been slugging it out the whole time. I don't think it's quite fair for Ama to say F you there when he's also been dive bombing the hell out of Kiki, but it's neither here nor there. We know Ama's a spicy driver at times, and he's certainly showing up today with the heat on Game Room 2. Okay, so I am going to begrudgingly look away from Stingox and Keela. If you want to continue covering them on the picture-in-picture, that would be great. Okay, so Famous on what's starting to begin to turn into an island here out in 3rd. Got 50 meters ahead, 50 meters behind. Kiki in 4th. He's got a nice, clean 30 meters over Ama. Perhaps off the back of a very aggressive dive bomb. It remains to be seen. We'll watch the footage back. But anyways, G-Force has... I think, has he been in 6th the whole time? I think he has just been chilling in 6th. But he is quite close to moving up or down as Powerade continues to attack. Powerade, one of those drivers we maybe don't talk about all the time, but he shows up so often to these events and is quite frequently someone who will take you down if you're not careful. So this match is definitely still alive between G-Force and Powerade. We'll see if Powerade can maybe even move into a podium here by the time everything's said and done. Nick with the best lap overall. No one has set best laps recently, but Nick does have the best lap overall.
So yeah, V crashed. Is not on the race anymore. F.
Gotcha. So V does. We are going to be down to 13 drivers. Makakowski is in 9th. Chilling Lampert in 10th. Laggy Rock still in 11th. Ashen 12th. Onay in 13th. And we got Sting somehow 30 meters ahead or behind of Stingox. Fill me in, Pokers. Did you catch what happened?
Yeah, the Kira and Sting have a fight in the event, and it didn't go well for Kitabarus.
Yeah, okay.
He got a G-turn in the event, so yeah, he got out by Fem.
Yeah, and it's kind of going to be a double jeopardy situation because Kilabaris not only loses his ability to attack Sting, but he also loses that defensive pressure he had against Famous with that gap that he was mounting 40, 50 meters. It's now a mere 5 to 10. So Kilabaris is certainly going to be in the hot seat here. We'll see how this Dark Horse performs once he's being pressured by one of the best that the league has to offer. Actually, he's sandwiched between, basically, I think if you do a seeding of our race, I think he's sandwiched between the two top overall racers at our race right now today. Frostbitten, of course, not here. You do have some arguments that you could make, but if you go by the points alone in the previous RVCs, this year's RVC, etc., some top racers finding their spots as they rightly should be. We saw Famous struggling a bit in Port Lamano 2 last week. Likely going to be a race that he throws away, since you can throw away your 3 worst races once everything is said and done here at RVEC 5. So, we do get into the 30 lap territory for these drivers. Some new personal best laps being set, G-Force, as well as, I believe that was either Lampert or Makakowski. I actually don't know why Frost isn't racing. He was in the chat a little while ago. Maybe he'll respond.
He said that he won't be available in the 3rd week at the very start of the event. So it's been a long time since we know.
Cool that he was able to drop by and say what's up, though. Yeah, shout out to Frost if you're still watching. Okay, so we still got Kilabaris versus Famous. Of course, I'm going to wait for this sequence, and then we'll flip back a bit because I see the numbers getting closer and closer for some of our racers. Kiki, 4th. Ama, 5th, still 40-50 meters back from Kiki. Hasn't recovered from that earlier dive bomb shenanigans. G-Force and Nick. Nick continued to rise in the ranks, has moved up to 7th. Was previously, I want to say 10th place earlier on when we were looking at him. So great for him to be able to catch up here. Powerade in the mix too, but you can't call that a caster curse because I was literally saying it at the exact same time that he wrecked. So I don't want to see anybody saying caster curse in the chat, but that is Nick on the stool. You got to be careful. Those stools will kill ya. Powerade back in the mix. Going to try to challenge. We've also got Makakowski 9th, Lampert 10th, Laggy Rock 11th. All right, moving back up here. I actually want to give a spotlight to Sting here on our main screen for a bit. In the picture-in-picture, we do still have the battle between Kilabaris and Famous. But Sting is... he deserves a spotlight here, at least for another lap. We'll see how he's been able to pull off such a clean race so far. That being said, he's certainly not in the most comfortable of situations here. He's only got a 30-meter gap. So that's like one minor wreck. He's been putting the meters together, but he's still just one minor wreck away from a pass. I want to say Famous won the first race on Museum.
Yes. I was wondering who won the first race, but yeah, Famous did one, and I remember because he started last in the qualifiers.
Yeah, right. Famous actually started last place in the qualifiers. He DC'd during the qualifier. So he was in last place. He came all the way back from like 15th place to first by the end of the museum. And it almost got all taken away by him by this very racer that we're watching right now, Stingox. But Stingox was not able to lock it down, and Famous was.
And he DC'd during the qualifiers. That's why he got the last place.
Yeah. Okay, gonna flip through our racers here for a bit. Spotlight has been cast on Sting. I will say, while we've been watching him, he has not been building his lead. In fact, he has been losing his lead somewhat as he starts to get into the 20-25 meter territory from Kilabaris. That being said, as well, Kilabaris also has Famous still 20-15 meters away from him as well. So these racers are not letting an inch get past them. In the meantime, Kiki, Ama, G-Force, a little bit of lull in our action for the moment. But you know what happens in the calm of the storm. Mayhem waiting on the other side every single time. So when will the mayhem strike? It remains to be seen. Powerade moving into 7th. Nick back in 8th. Makakowski 9th. Lampert 10th. And he's got a big gap, 160 meter gap on Laggy Rock in 11th. Poyut, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, saying Sting never makes mistakes. That's amazing. Indeed, oh my goodness, we did catch Kilabaris with a mistake of his own. A kind of a strange place to be having a mistake too. I thought that was actually like lap traffic trying to get out of the way or something. But Kilabaris just veers off into the wall, unfortunately, and everything he was working for is just, I don't want to say it's gone, but 40 meter behind Famous, it's got to be a gut-wrenching result to find yourself in here if you're Kilabaris. Please, no comments about the stuttering. It makes my computer nervous. Thank you. Doing the best we can here. Anyways, just a joke. We do, like I said, have a little bit of a lull in the action. Kilabaris up against Kiki here for 3rd, 4th. And actually, Kiki has set the best lap in our race as well on that previous lap. Shout out to Kippy. In the meantime, Kilabaris is going to be playing defensively there. No longer going for the wall bangs. Just going to be playing defensively against Kiki, who was trying to go on the inside there for the pass. It's pretty far away for a pass, but still. Kilabaris, a little bit flustered, perhaps. Again, not somewhere we typically see people wrecking. And I think Kilabaris is maybe a little bit in his head at this point. In the meantime, nice catch. Powerade does find the overtake onto G-Force. Moves into 6th place. Powerade is one of those players who will sneak up on you for real. He's currently 60 meters behind Ama. We'll keep checking back on him, seeing how that situation develops. Kilabaris versus Kiki continues. We're tuned into Famous right now because Famous does have this unique propensity to be able to catch any racer, no matter how fast, simply by being in his rearview mirror. So we'll see how this plays out. Stingox now, or Famous rather, now has sight on Stingox. He's got him in his sights. And he is closing on in. 30 meters away from Sting. I will say Sting currently has the 3rd best lap overall. Yeah, as you can see in that picture-in-picture, Hila trying to hang on. And he actually is quite close to Kiki. All right. Honestly, good work keeping me up to date on these fights, because I did miss out on that. You're absolutely right. Makakowski is now in 9th, 30 meters back. Power 8 in 8, 10 meters behind Nick. We do have that sketchy portion of our track up ahead. Power 8 goes pretty far on the outside, or rather the inside, depending on how you look at it. In the meantime, Nick is hunting down G-Force. That being said, G-Force is 100 meters behind Ama, so it looks like my dark horse candidate may not work out in G-Force. In the meantime, okay, it was getting pretty close between Kilabaris and Kiki. But that will smooth back out. Flipping a little bit back because we got a number of matches to cover. Makakowski even falls behind Lampert at this point. A series of wrecks. Picture-in-picture, Kilabaris versus Kiki continues. Makakowski with the slight wreck. That's going to be it. Lampert will be taking that position cleanly. G6, Nick 7th, Power 8 8th. Indeed, all of the effort that Power 8 went into passing those players is going to be disappearing. Actually, I thought we caught that with Power 8. I thought he flipped his car and we looked swiftly away after that. This battle between Kilabaris and Kiki continuing on neck and neck. G-Force, Nick, Power 8. Hard to look away, but we do have some action upfield too. I want to keep tabs on Sting and Famous as well. Of course, it's not that crucial because they are, you know, a good 30-40 meters between each other. But I do, you know, always going to keep tabs on that first, second place. We'll make a mental note for now. 40 meters between Sting and Famous. We'll reapproach it a little bit. Let's see the wreck. He's just in the vent, right? Okay. So he's going to be fine. That's going to go straight back. In the meantime, we'll continue our eyes on G-Force, Nick, and Power 8. The battle of 3. They're duking it out for 6th place. Now, this could be a good time to tell y'all our point scoring system. We do use the MotoGP point scoring system. So first place is worth 25 points. Second place is worth 20. Third is worth 16. So on and so forth. So those initial positions worth a whole lot. Even these further back positions are going to be worth more than 1 point for our racers. So a big swing potential here if one of these racers can find the lead, maybe even move up a bit more. Although it's gonna be tough with 100 meters back on Ama.
And Kira did overtook Kiki because Kiki took the stools.
Kiki has been getting punished by the stools lately. This entire race, really. The stools have been a nightmare of his. Well, stools and Ama, we'll say. Stools and Ama have been his kryptonite. I'm sure Ama would say the same, but about Kiki. This race continues to rage on. Power 8 Nick as well as G-Force. In the meantime, Sting versus Fam, 30 meters, 35 meters, 40 meters, right around about the same mountain that we looked at last time. Kilabaris has been keeping it damn close to Famous. Excellent performance from him, all things considered. Despite it, I mean, he had a series of catastrophic wrecks, and he's still 30 meters, 20 meters behind Famous. What more can you ask for, if we're being honest? In the meantime, Ama versus Kiki. Oh, man. And this is not good for Kiki because Ama has a vengeance here.
Yeah, Kiki wrecks so Hama can get closer to him.
Oh.
And the first occasion he had, Hama tried to dive bomb.
Oh, my goodness. Ama is pissed off. All right. He's got a chip on his shoulder here. Oh, whoa. Wreck from Nick will be Power 8 finally breaking the chain on that group of 3, moving into 7th place and giving G-Force a bit of a gap, since I think he also collided with Nick just for a moment's notice while he was trying to get the pass there. And yeah, honestly, this has been a grudge match. Let's get the head-to-head on Kiki and Ama here for a bit. We got Kiki main screen out in 4th, Ama picture-in-picture in 5th. And like we were saying, this has been a serious grudge match between these two racers. Dive bombs back to back. Continue looking at the live standings though, because that race between G-Force, Power 8, and Nick has not dissipated yet. I've got to flip over. Nick keeping it so close. Okay. And besides this head-to-head battle between Kiki and Ama, there is perhaps trouble brewing on the front lines. Famous has shrunk the gap by about 10 meters. Kilabaris is still hanging in there, but about 40 meters behind Famous. Kiki's got a ways to go to catch Kilabaris. All right, and we'll keep Ama versus Kiki on the picture-in-picture, but for now, the battle of 3 is heating up once again. G-Force, Power 8, and Nick for 6th, 7th, 8th. G-Force has been in 6th pretty much the whole time while we've been covering this, except Power 8 did have a small stint up there, but did wreck out. And Power 8 on the inside, he's not going to find it, running into the railing. And going to be sent down to 8th place once again, a familiar position for him in this race. Quick note, as far as points go, 1 point is awarded for best lap, which Kiki currently has. So we'll see if that changes at all. But as the number on the left-hand side of our screen continues to get smaller, I am drawn towards the battle of Famous and Sting. 25 meters currently separating the two of them. We'll put on the shark cam here. Famous, as he begins lap 58 of 72. Honestly, am I crazy, or did this race absolutely fly by? Like, I feel like I looked at the laps and it's like, holy shit, we're almost towards the end. I feel like we literally just started. This has been, it's been super clean driving all across the board, but there's just been so much to keep track of. Laggy Rock looking like he might be having some internet issues out there in 11th, and it looks like we might have lost another to DC. Okay, so this race between Sting and Fame is not heating up quite yet, and it looks like Kilabaris had a wreck that I unfortunately did not catch, but it's going to bring him 75 meters behind Famous, also getting Kiki ever closer to the podium. Kiki often claiming those podiums, and looks like this could be another one that he could pick up off the back of some nerves on the side of Kila. as the laps continue to count down. The racers are getting fatigued as they approach lap 60. They're only going to have about 12, 13 laps left. They're not only going to have fatigue, but also the nerves continuing to build up. Shigeki X says, laggy rock jump scare indeed. That was pretty, I was scared for a second there, but he was flashing, so it's all good. In the meantime, flipping back to our battle, it has dissipated into really just a battle of two, GeForce and Nick. Keep you telling me to try some coffee. I don't need coffee. I'm on that Revolt competitive type shit. You know, I don't need coffee. Into the vent they go. 5 meters separating GeForce and Nick. Look at Fam and Sting. I've got to flip forward here. Fam challenging Sting. Fortunately, we did not miss it. Sting going very aggressively on that wall bang. Welcome in, Jay McYaru. I believe the cars that you can use are Toyota, Hummer, and Cougar. But everyone just wants to use Toyota because it's the best. Stingox, speaking of non-Toyota drivers, Stingox was at one time a prolific Hummer driver, but even he hung up the Hummer in favor of the Toyota, and look at him. Yes, he has lost a lot of distance on Famous, but he can still say he's in first place. Are we going to have a repeat of week 1 where Famous commits theft? Well, actually, I mean, it was almost Sting committing theft, but then Famous committed reverse theft and stole it straight back. Kiki still with the best lap in a race. Kiki and Ama neck and neck. That grudge match is going to continue on. We've also got GeForce, Powerade, and actually Nick is in 6th now. Nick must have passed GeForce up sometime along the way. Famous going on the inside, trying to find the angle. Can't quite do it. Lap 64 of 72. Our weary racers. And again, they approach that super problematic sequence. And they're gonna nail it. Sting just going for that strange wall bang. It's like he's gonna veer off into the door or something, but he just bounces off of it perfectly every time. I won't question his methods if it works. What's going on in the picture-in-picture in the meantime?
Not that much, honestly. Just Nick doing his stuff against G.
All right.
Now.
All right.
And we did saw Armor crashing.
That's what I thought.
Leaving Kiki safe for a while.
Famous on the head of Stingox. But he does not find the pass once everything is said and done. He is going to continue to try to find that inside angle on the ramp to overtake Sting, but he has not been successful at it so far. Famous doesn't have a best lap time. Sting, however, is 3rd place best lap. Indeed. 100 meters. Keela has fallen back. As Famous is not going to be able to hunt, we'll check out. Okay, we do have Kiki versus Keela Bars here for 3rd, 4th. And Kiki is hungry for a podium. I can feel it. See if he's able to lock it in, or if Keela Bars will find a 1st place into a 3rd place. That would set him up perfectly for the early stages of RVEC 5. We've got 10 weeks of action. 3rd week about to be behind us, but we can't call it quits too soon. Got about 5 laps left. 5 more trips around the arcade machines. 5 more ramps to wall bang off of. Sting Rex, just as I last lap was like, yeah, he just nails it every single time, even though it looks so strange. He falters on lap 67 of 72, and Famous almost gets blocked by him as he picks his car back up, but he's not able to do so, and 20 meters ahead will be Famous. We'll certainly be checking back in on that, but for now, it's a time for a bit of a refresher on the other positions in our race. Here's Kilabaris versus Kiki for 3rd, 4th. We've also got Ama on an island in 5th, Nick about the same, G-Force about the same, Powerade about the same, Lampert in 9th, Makakowski trying to hunt down for 10th. Really all eyes on our battle for 1st, 2nd, and our battle for 3rd, 4th. So we are going to have 3rd, 4th in the picture-in-picture, 1st, 2nd on the main screen. We're going to have to keep it locked in here. There may be some passes happening in the backfield, but all eyes on the front here, where most of the points are centralized. 5-point gap between 1st and 2nd place alone. Absolutely massive. That's 5 times it. That's like if you got best lap 5 times in a row, you would tie getting 1st place over 2nd place. That's how important this one position is right here. And they are going to be ending up for finishing up lap 69. Just a couple laps left to go. I will say Famous, I mean, he's only 10 meters ahead of Sting right now. It's certainly not the most comfortable place to be. Famous does emit a certain aura that causes people to make mistakes when they're near him. But at the same time, it's not a very comfortable position for Famous to be in at all whatsoever. We see Sting bouncing on the U-turn. Certainly not going to be conducive towards pace. And he's a little bit shaky through the vent as well. He's worried this is going to slip out of his fingers. He loses 10 meters in the meantime. And Kiki and Kilabaris neck and neck. Make sure you're checking out that match as well. Stingox got some work to do here. He turns into 30 meters. I don't know. Let's watch from Fam's angle here. I think it's going to take a mistake from Famous at this point. Well said, Frost. Me and you both, buddy. I had the exact same thought there. It is going to be up to Famous to wreck at this point. 20-meter advantage on Sting as he starts the very final lap. In the meantime, Kilabaris versus Kiki continuing to heat up as they start their final lap. Kiki just set his best personal lap in the... Oh, wait. Well, he's got the best overall lap. I think I might have misinterpreted that right there. But regardless, look at how close he is to Kilabaris. And he... Oh my god, Kiki flipping over just a tad. Famous will be locking in 1st place. Sting, gotta be careful to lock in 2nd. And it's done. Sting, Famous finds the win. Sting 2nd, Kila 3rd, Kiki 4th, Ama 5th, Nick actually finding 6th and holding onto it. G-Force not able to make headway. He's going to be chilling out in 7th. Overpowerate in 8th. Lampert in 9th. Makakowski in 10th. Was not able to find footing in this match. And I think do we have a DC from Laggy Rock, unfortunately? Makakowski will finish up in 10th. Ashen, One got a ways to go to finish up their race. And that is going to be it.
And I noticed something very funny.
Tell me.
Kiki and Nick have their best laps are the same.
You're absolutely right. So I guess we'll have to check back in the VOD and see who said it first, or we'll just give them both 1 point. I don't know what the rules are exactly, but I assume one of those things will happen.
Is there any rule for that?
What's that?
Is there any rule for that?
I don't know. I don't know. Kiki says, give Nick and me 0.5 points each. Fixed. Yes, indeed. That's a little interesting wrinkle. We'll see if the rule book planned for that or not. But you can see our overall standings here as our race comes to a close. Now, don't go anywhere yet, y'all. I'm going to message Famous for an interview, perhaps, and in the meantime, we have got the driver of the day that's going to be voted for. So make sure you stick around, viewers, chatters. Even if you're not a chatter, if you're just a viewer, you can also place your vote for who you felt was the driver of the day. You can vote for the person who got first, but you could vote for anyone as well. So let me get this fixed up here. Let's go ahead and in the predictions as well. So that will be Famous winning our match. And Famous had 0 fans. Famous had not a single bettor in his favor. We had 1,000 points placed on G4, 692 on Kilobars, 547 for Kiki, and 750 for Sting. So I am not going to steal all y'all's channel points and throw it into the void. Do not worry. I've done that mistake before. I'm not going to throw away y'all's channel points. You lucked out because no one put their money on Famous. And so I'm just going to delete the prediction. You'll get all your points back. So Famous did, I declined the interview. You know, it's completely up to the racer if they want to do it or not. No one forcing you to. I know Kilo Bars doesn't like giving interviews either, so it's all good. It's all good. Well, I tried to convince him. I tried to say, come on, buddy, but we'll see. Probably not. But regardless, we do have the driver of the day poll coming up shortly, so make sure you hang tight. We'll head over to, let's check out our overall standings from the previous week. So this was leading up to Game Room 2. Okay, Kiki, aka Prawnfoot, has posted that straw poll. Go and vote on it. I'm going to go vote on it myself. All right, keep those votes coming in. It's actually not a guaranteed vote for Famous, far from it. So keep them coming in. Is this championship open for everyone? It indeed is. Thank you for asking. If you're a member of the Revolt competitive community, you can go and sign up. Actually, this is a good segue for me to show the next week's map. It is going to be Spa Vault 2. I've been waiting for this. It's no secret. I've been waiting for this. I can't wait for next week. It's going to be so sick. Headed to our first foray into the Spa Vault. And so if you're not currently a member of the Revolt competitive community, I'll send you a link now in the Twitch chat. And while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and link everybody to, RVIO invites not enabled. So I won't be able to invite y'all to that one, but I will try to invite y'all to RVA as well. Can someone answer this question here? How do you sign up? I'm pretty sure you just emote react the post and you're in.
And that's right. You just have to put a check mark on which race you want to participate, and you're it. You're in.
And you're in.
Yeah.
So it's as
As long
easy
as
as
you follow
that.
as long as you follow certain rules, like the blue flag one, it's just like you're already in with the emote.
All right, buddy. Excited to see you next week. Do keep in mind what Kippy said. It might not be the best experience for you if you're not pretty close to the best lap, the world record best lap, because these racers came to play, and you will quickly get lapped. And then, as lap traffic, you will have to move out of the way to let people who are lapping you past you. So that's a very important caveat. You have to be willing to let drivers who are lapping you past you, and you also have to be aware that they're passing you. So those are really two big rules. If you can follow that, you can join up. So I'm going to go ahead and post the initial standings for our driver of the day. It's not done yet. We'll have the official driver of the day available at the pre-show next week. Would be great to have you at Venice, Kippy. Yes, indeed. All right, let me go ahead and I'll try it. We'll see how this works. It might not. There we go. It is actually looking like Nick is leading on the driver of the day poll, and honestly, I gotta hand it to him. He fought hard for this. I think those votes might have been from some of the people he was competing with midfield, because he was really putting them to the test. So the votes do actually come out for Nick. It's not done yet, though. Famous could still come out and win. We'll see.
I did vote for Nick because the midfield action he gave us is just on point.
Indeed. And honestly, despite Famous being able to snag those positions, it honestly was so much on the back of other drivers making mistakes that he didn't really have any fireworks to set off, because the backfires kind of happened by the people he was driving against. So I could see why Nick, of course, Famous still getting 30% of the votes, no surprise there, but Nick might be able to just barely edge out a win here. Yeah, the vote will still be going on. This is just a screenshot of the standings as they stood when I looked at it. But we'll have the official driver of the day for Game Room 2 next week. Speaking of next week, I do think that is going to wrap it up for us here today with the Revolt Endurance Championship Season 5. Next week is going to be Spavol 2. It's going to be a hell of a race. I understand you're not going to be there for it, Pokers.
No, I won't be there. I'm so sad if Spavol's gonna be crazy.
I know, but there's gonna be another Spavol.
Yeah.
At least there's that. There's gonna be another Spavol.
Another nightmare, yay!
So that'll be great. And unless there's anything you'd like to add, I think that's going to end it for us here.
Not that much. Just congrats, Fame, again, and yeah, that's it.
Congratulations indeed. I'm excited to see how the positions continue to get shaken up. I'll give you all one last glance at our overall standings. So with Sting with a second place into a third place, Hiki with a second place into a third place, Famous with a gold first into only 10 points. So Oh, I'm actually getting some PNGs from Nick. I might have the updated standings. Oh, indeed we do. Hold on. Hold the phone. The show's not done yet. Let me go ahead and pull up this. If you are interested in seeing things like consistency percentage, overall point standing, etc., be sure to hang tight because I am uploading those for y'all right now.
Of course, shout out to you, Kiki and One. Thank you for both the atmosphere in the chat and the race you gave.
Indeed, indeed. And there are the results for y'all. We got 99.31. I want to see what Shigeki X bet that it was. 99.31. Is this guy what Shigeki X?
Yeah, you read the
cheating?
screen, of course.
Yeah, come on, get out of here. Shigeki, come on, get out of here, Shigeki. Get out. He's like, OMG, lol. Come on, Shigeki. No way.
Everyone
Come
in the community
on, bro.
knows.
Okay, so Kiki actually, oh no, Kiki with the 98.73. It does look like the most consistency is going to be in the hands of Famous. As is to be expected, I suppose, with our first place racer. But a museum, actually, one of our Laggy Rock, who came in like 10th place, was the most consistent. So that's interesting to see. We got the tie on Kiki and Nick with the best lap. So we'll be deciding who got the. I think it was Kiki who set the best lap. He had that best lap for a long ass time. So I think it was Kiki who gets the point for that. Gets 4th place as well. Kilobaris. Hey, Kilobaris had some serious stumbles throughout this race, but he still manages to lock in the podium. 3rd place. He's got to be happy with that. He locks in 16 points, and he's here to fight. You cannot underestimate Kilobaris. He's made that perfectly clear by week 3, and it's only going to get more intense as these 7 weeks continue on. Stingox, a familiar position, 2nd place. He has not beaten the curse yet. At least, you know, he didn't on Museum, he didn't on Game Room too. But you know, let's not linger on that. We've also got Famous in quite a familiar spot as well. With that first, once again, just finding it in those last laps, just that aura that he emits, and everybody seems to wreck. Ama also deserves a mention here. Could have had that 4th place. Him and Kiki. We got Kiki in the chat actually right now. Maybe, or if you're still in the chat, Kiki, thoughts on Actually, maybe don't say anything you'll regret. You know what I mean? But I'm really curious about your perspective on the dive bombing, because I saw both of y'all dive bombing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw both of y'all getting into it. And Nick locking down 6, etc., etc. Let's look at the overall standings before we head out for our night. 57 points in the hand of Sting. 50, 2nd place for Kiki. 60, or I'm sorry, what is going on here? Oh, are they not in order? Wait, where? Okay, I don't think they got ordered. I think Nick fixed the ordering on another thing that he sent me, but yeah, it is actually Famous in 1st with 60, Sting in 2nd with 57, Kiki in 3rd with 50. Kilobaris just barely in 4th, 1 point away, 49. G-Force Nick with 38. G-Force with 28. Makakasi with 25. Power8 with 25. I'm doing my best here, folks. And 19, 18, 18, 16 will round out our top 10 for Makakasi, Frostbitten, and Lampert. So, I'm going to call it here. Oh, Kiki actually says we had some pre-race beef to settle. Oh my god. It goes much deeper than I could have ever expected. Intense. Let's keep it on the track, folks. I know, Nick. I know. But I did it by hand. Okay, I did it by hand. Our show is done. You have to release us. We've done our duties. Hey, cheers, Nick. Thank you so much for all the work that you do. Huge shout out to the organizers, to people doing graphic designs, all sorts of different pokers with the picture-in-picture, and joining me for co-casting as well. I said the graphic, I mean, let's be honest, it's Kiki on the graphic designs. Thank you, Kiki. Etc. etc. And we're going to end it here. We'll be back next week. Cheers, y'all. And pokers, have a nice vacation.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. Have a nice Pavel 2. Have a nice nightmare.
All right. We'll see you then. Same time, same place. 3 p.m. Eastern time. I think it's what, 19 UTC? 18 UTC?
19 UTC.
19 UTC. All right. Boom. Done. We're out of here. We're calling it. See y'all next time.